Good morning. Our lesson today about comparing pie charts. So our objective to compare pie charts using percentages or fractions. Things to remember, this is the pie chart. The pie chart should have a title here. The pie chart represents people's favorite colors and should have the key. Please read very well the key because here the blue color in the pie chart represent orange in the key, and the yellow represent purple, the green represent the pink, and the red represent the turquoise. Now, to find the percentage of each color, what we have to do, first of all, we will count how many equal sectors do we have. In our case here, we have 8 sectors. Then we will divide 100 by 8. Divide 100 by 8 will be equal to 12.5%. Then we're gonna multiply each sectors or the number of sectors each color occupies by 12.5%. For example, let us take the purple one, which is the yellow. Two sectors times 12.5% will be 25%. So for the turquoise, which is the red here, and the purple, which is the yellow here, it is 25%. For the orange, which is the blue, it will be 12.5%. And for the pink, which is the green, it will be 12.5% times 3, or we can do 100 minus the others. The pie chart shows the percentage contribution to air pollution for the year 2000. The second pie chart shows the contribution to air pollution for the year 2006. So when we compare pie charts, we should compare according to the same topic but different areas. Here the area of difference is the time. What percentage of the total does each piece represent? In both pie charts, each pie chart is divided into 10 equal sectors, so we will divide 100 by 10 will be 10%. In which year did Europe record more air pollution? In 2000, we will find that it's 3 sectors, while in 2006 it is 2 sectors. So to find out, it is 2 in 2000, since Europe recorded 30% in 2000. 3 sectors times 10, it's 30, while it recorded 20% in 2006 because 2 sectors times 10 is 20%. How many more percentages did the rest of the world record in 2006 than 2000? In 2006, the rest of the world has 25% since we have 2 sectors and a half by 10 equal to 25. While in 2000, we have only 1 sector, so it is 10%. So 25 minus 10 will be 15%. The contributions from which country did not change between 2000 and 2006? By looking, we have America in 2000, it is 20%, and in 2006, it is also 20%. We have then one whole sector, half from both sides, so it is 2 sectors, 2 whole sectors by 10, 20%. So the answer is America. Example 2. The 2 pie charts show what percentage of trains in Britain and Spain are on time or late. Use pie charts to compare how many are on time and how many are late in 2 countries. Here in this example, we should draw a table. First of all, we will count the number of sectors in each country and then divide 100 by the number of sectors to find how many percent each sector represent. In the first one in Britain, we have 10 sectors. Each sector represent 10%. So we will draw a table for each one. Lateness in Britain, you can name it as you want, and lateness in Spain. On time, we can see that we have 5 sectors and a half, so it's 55%. Up to 5 minutes, we have one whole sector, which is 10%. Between 10 and 5 and 10 minutes late, we can find that we have 1.5 sectors, so it's 15%. And more than 10 minutes, we have 2 sectors, which is 20%. For the Spain, on time has the most number of percentages, which is 8.5 sectors, so it is 85%. For up to 5 minutes late, 10%, 5 to 10 minutes, it is half a sector, so it is 5%, and more than 10 minutes, we don't have any lateness more than 10 minutes, so it is 0. Now, the question is, we can see here that a higher percentage of trains in Spain are on time. So comparing here, we can look at the two tables and we can see the differences between the two of them. On time in Spain, it's 85, while on time in Britain, it's 55. So higher percentage for the Spain. The same percentage of trains are up to 5 minutes late in both countries because it is 10% in both. And a higher percentage of trains in Britain are over than 5 minutes late. From 5 to 10 minutes and more than 10 minutes, we have 35%, since 20 plus 15 is 35, while between 5 minutes and 10 late and more than 10 minutes late in Spain are only 5%. So the higher percent of lateness, more than 5%, 5 minutes, goes to Britain. Example 3. The pie charts show the ways in which two different groups of pupils travel to school most days. So here the topic is how pupils travel to school, and we are comparing two groups A and B. We can find that both have walking, bus, car, and bike. Here are some facts about group A and group B. In each case, decide whether the statement is true for group A, true for group B, true for both, or true for neither. Okay, most pupils walk to school. Looking at group A, we can find that 50% of the students walking to school, which is the highest percentage, while in group B, 40% walking to school, and it is also the highest percentage among all the ways coming to school. So this is true for both. More travel by car than by bus to school. Looking at group A, coming by car is 20% since we have two sectors, while traveling or coming by bus, it is 25%. So this is not true for group A. While in group B, coming by car 25% and coming by bus 25%, so it is also not true in group B. So we can say that this statement is true for neither. C, 5% of pupils come to school on their bike. For group A, half sector means 5%, while in group B, one whole sector means 10%. So this statement is true only for group A. 25% pupils in the group come to school by car. In group A, as we said before, it is 20% since we have two whole sectors, while in group B is 25%. So this statement is true only for group B. Example 4. Pie charts to represent people's favorite pie. We have two groups, group 1 and group 2, and we have the same key, which is blueberry, cherry, apricot, and apple. Here, if you look very well, you can find that the size of the sector in group 1 is different than the size of the sector of group 2. So we cannot say that the sector represent the same amount of percentage in both groups. The question here, how many percentages does each sector represent in group 1 and then in group 2? To find the percentages, we should count first the number of equal sectors in group 1. We have 8 sectors, so we will divide 100 by 8 to find the answer. And for group 2, we have 10 sectors, so we will divide 100 by 10 to find the answer. 800 divided by 8 will be 12.5%, so each sector in group 1 represents 12.5%, while in group 2, each sector represents 10%. How many more percentage of apricot does group 1 have than group 2? So first of all, we should find how many percentage of apricot represent in group 1. We have two sectors. Two sectors by 12.5 means 25%, while one sector in group 2 represent 10%. So 25 minus 10 will be 15%. What percentages of the total like the blueberry in group 2? In group 2, we know that each sector represents 10%, and we have three sectors, so three sectors by 10 will be 30%. What fraction of the total liked cherry pie in group 1? Cherry here, it's the pink. We have two pink sectors. Out of how many sectors? Out of 8. So 2 out of 8 will be 1 out of 4 in the simplest form. Pie charts to show favorite drinks. We have orange, tea, coffee, and water for both. But if you look very well, you can see that the number of sectors in each pie chart is different and the number of people asked is also different. We have here adults asked are 32 while children asked are 100. What fraction of adults chose orange? Fraction, we will see how many sectors out of the total number of sectors in the adults. Orange represent here yellow, so it is 1 out of 8. How many adults choose water? We have 2 out of 8 choose water of the 32. 2 out of 8, which is 1 out of 4 of the 32, will be 8 adults. How many children choose coffee? Coffee here is the green one. One sector out of the 10. 1 out of 10 means 10%. Of the 100 or 1 out of 10 times 100, it will be 10 children choose coffee. How many people choose tea? Here we should find how many adults choose tea and how many children choose tea. So here to find how many adults choose tea, we have here three sectors which are the red part. 3 sectors out of 8 times the 32. So 32 times 3 divided by 8 will be 12, and we have 2 sectors out of 10 times the 100 because we have 100 children, so it will be 20 children choose C. 12 plus 20 will be 32. So from which group had the most tea drinkers? From the previous question we can find that the children they are 20 while the adults they are 12. So here children are more tea drinkers. What is the greater proportion, adult tea drinkers or child water drinkers? Adult tea drinkers, we know it's a 3 out of 8, while child water drinkers are 4 out of 10. Change both out of 80 to make same denominator in order to just compare the numerators. It will be 30 out of 80 or 4 out of 10, it will multiply by 8, it will be 32 out of 80. We can find that 4 out of 10 is greater than 3 out of 8, so the greater proportion is child water drinkers. As a plenary, our lesson today was about comparing pie charts. We can compare between pie charts if you are talking about the same topics but for more than one group. Example here, we are talking about how students transport to school. We have two groups, year 7 and year 8. So how to find it out? We first check the fraction or the percentage each sector represent by counting how many sectors do you have, then divide 100 by the number of sectors, and then the answer you can multiply it by how many sectors each group or each part represent. Then you can answer the questions that give you a good comparison between the groups. Thank you very much.